can't find nothing on the radio. Yo, turn to that station.
Radio you can touch.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
We'll talk a lot today as soon as Jeff is capable.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Jeff Lutz.
You're not making any sense.
Oh, that's true.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Hello again, everybody. Welcome a Thursday edition, the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. It's Bob Lutz and Jeff Lutz co-hosting. Max Bauer is our producer and engineer. 869-1240 is the phone number. You can give us a call almost any time, but not right now. I gotta check on the well-being of my son.
Don't even worry about it.
What are you guys? Why are you angry with me? All I did was check on your well-being.
Just don't even worry about it, okay?
I mean, 20 innings now without a run?
Just don't even worry about it. It's just what it is.
Well, I'm not worried about it.
They either win tonight or the season's over. There's nothing really to discuss. They lost yesterday. It sucked. They might lose today, and it'll suck a lot more. Or they might win today, and Saturday will suck. Or they might win today and win Saturday. What do we know? There's nothing.
You've allowed baseball to take control of your life.
Not really. I don't think that's the case.
Really? You don't think so?
I almost dread watching this game. I really don't even want to.
Well, because your team's not hitting. There's nothing worse than watching a team that just can't. I mean, you left 8 guys on yesterday, or 8 guys. You were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. I dealt with that all year. Cardinals were only better than the White Sox in hitting with runners in scoring position. There's nothing more aggravating. I got
these people on the message board. Well, it's bad sequencing, and their batting average with balls in play was lower than ours. So it'll shut up. Either you win or you lose.
Tigers have a good young team.
They're not that good. Okay,
they're not that good, but they're good. They're salty and
salty. Give me a
pitchers
break.
They bring in one after the other.
If the Tigers were down 2-1, we'd be with the Guardians. They're salty. None of that means anything.
Salty.
None of that means anything.
They're not salty right now. They're not getting any clutch hits. Jose Ramirez looks terrible. He's not the only star that's looking terrible in the playoffs. But when your star can't do anything, it drags the team down.
They're putting too much on him.
Who's tried to tell you all year?
All these pinch hitters, and let's go to matchups in the first inning. Like, that's not going to work out because you're going to have terrible matchups later. And
that was a brilliant stroke by A.J. Hinch.
Was it?
Yes. Look what it did to you. Look what it did to you.
Prepare. How about that? Instead of
getting hitters who can hit right or left-handers?
Well, that's
back in my day. That's what we used to do.
Because we platoon 2 positions.
Or we had pinch hitters.
Because we platoon
switch hitters.
So you can't even listen to an argument.
No, I'm telling you.
So because we platoon 2 positions.
Well, you shouldn't platoon them.
We shouldn't platoon anybody.
Either a guy can hit or he can't.
That's dumb, and you know it. Stop. I mean, if you're going to make some arguments, try to sound intelligent.
I am so intelligent.
There should be no platoons in baseball.
You know that in the 4 games yesterday, I put yesterday. You're not supposed to say that word with the emphasis on day, but I am for this reason.
I didn't hear.
The 4 games yesterday, guess how many pitchers combined were used in those 4 games?
Well, the Dodgers had 8. The Tigers had probably 7 or 8. The Guardians had 5 or 6.
7. 48 pitchers.
Okay. Why couldn't I work it out?
Because nobody wants to hear a guy do math. 48 pitchers in 4 games yesterday used. You talk about how a game has changed and how the game changes from the regular season to the postseason. Now, a lot of teams are relying on their bullpens. But you saw the Dodgers with a bullpen game shut out the Padres. You saw the Tigers in a bullpen game shut out the Guardians.
Why even have a regular season at this point?
That's not supposed to happen, is it?
I don't know. Why?
Are bullpens supposed to go all 9 innings and shut the team down?
Well, if you have 9 one-inning guys that are really good, sure, why not? That's why baseball is hard. Why even have a regular season at this point? What's the point of the regular season? Because the game is different. The outcome is a flip of a coin. There's no reason to have a regular season.
It's fun to have the regular season.
No, it's not.
I think it is.
I hate it.
You hate everything.
I may never watch another regular season baseball game.
You hate everything right now.
Kind of, yeah.
When Veerling made the stab of the shot in the third, how'd you react to that? I was listening to Tom Hamilton, who I enjoy listening to, by the way.
Why don't you just watch the ball game?
I was in my car. And he was distraught, almost.
Well, everybody was.
But you know what? He also praised Veerling. I like announcers like that.
Well, you would love Tom Hamilton. You never give him any credit because I like him.
No, I'm giving him credit.
Now that you've listened to him.
I like announcers who give the other team credit.
He calls it like it is. He's obviously pro Guardians, but he's
had a good series.
He's fine.
You don't like any of them. I understand that.
No, I'm just tired of him. I'm tired of looking at Jake Rogers' stupid mustache. Well, here comes Will Vest.
Well, he shut you down.
No one knows who that is. That's stupid. Way to market the game. Let's bring Bo Breesky in and Will Vest.
Well, you know what? They're making names for
9
themselves.
people will watch it.
Congratulations to the Tigers for getting this far. And A.J. Hinch is a brilliant manager.
Oh, please.
He is.
Anybody could do that.
He's a brilliant manager.
No, he's not. Anybody could do that.
No, not
And when he did it in game 1, we scored 5 runs in the first. There's no brilliance.
He's brilliant.
You either win or you don't. There's nothing.
And you haven't hardly scored since.
That's not on A.J. Hinch.
20 innings. Good grief, man. Get a hit. The Mets got a hit. Your former guy, Francisco Lindor, with a dramatic, and I mean dramatic, grand slam. He almost knew he was going to do it, but even so, that was fun to watch because that crowd just went nuts. And that, the Phillies got to figure something out. What they've got to do, and they tried this year, but they'll trade for Ryan Helsley and give us the farm. Thoughts?
No idea. No idea if they have a farm.
The Phillies are home. They're the only team so far that's home. We'll see.
This round, yes.
We'll see if any of the teams go home tonight, the Royals or the Guardians. They're both on the ropes with Game 4 in Detroit. You've got another, who knows what Detroit's going to do pitching-wise.
Reese Olson, they'll probably ride him.
You got your ace. Good luck.
And if it's tomorrow, it shouldn't be Matthew Boyd. Even though he pitched well in Game 1, we got to combat their bullpen with our bullpen and go.
Well, Scooble's going tomorrow.
Right. I'm saying combat. I shouldn't have said their bullpen, but combat their pitching with what we do best, and that's maybe start Andrew Walters or.
Why not Boyd starting?
Don't like it. Because then you feel like you have to give him 2 or 3 innings.
No, you don't. Look what the Tigers did.
Vogt's not like that.
They started a guy who got through the first inning on 6 pitches, took him out, went to the bullpen, never looked back.
Well, Alex Cobb getting to face those left-handers a second time was a terrible decision. And, nothing worked out for the Guards yesterday. Maybe it will today.
Well, I wish you the best. Meanwhile, an unsuspecting villain in Kansas City last night. Not really. Giancarlo Stanton has all kinds of abilities. He's been a great hitter for a long time. But, man, he hit some rockets, including the go-ahead home run against the Royals, and the Yankees held on. And the Royals aren't hitting much.
Correct. It's hard in the postseason.
Not for the Mets, Phillies, Dodgers, and Padres.
The Phillies didn't hit that well.
Yeah, they got... You know what I'm saying.
And the Padres had 1 good inning yesterday, and then,
the Dodgers. The Padres had no good innings yesterday.
I'm talking about 2 nights ago when they had 5 in 1 inning and didn't score the rest of the way. And then shut out. Yeah, I'm going to be angry the rest of the show. I don't like anything. I had
Joel T. Lamerno here yesterday. He was a ray of sunshine.
This has been an absolutely exhausting week.
He was a ray of sunshine.
He sounded great.
And that's what I'm looking for.
Did he bring me this puck?
He brought me that puck.
I'll probably go ahead and...
No, I'll keep that puck.
No, I kind of like this puck.
No, you're not. You're not taking the puck.
Well, why wouldn't he bring me a puck?
Well, because the puck's not yours. That's why.
Should be.
By the way, the Thunder opening night, October 18th against the Kansas City Mavericks, 7:05 drop. Is that how you say it?
Puck drop, yeah.
No, drop. We know what you drop.
No.
You
don't say...
You can get the opening night 4-pack, 4 tickets, and a $10 merchandise voucher by visiting WichitaThunder.com. Opening night coming up a week from Friday. All right. What else? Did I hit everything? I think I hit everything. Bobby Witt finally got a hit, but not enough. And Luke Weaver, of all people. Let's talk about Luke Weaver for a minute.
Because he's a former Cardinal?
Former
Cardinal. Speaking of Cardinals, rough decision yesterday to go with Cardinals talk. I heard from any number of people that said, "What's Bob doing?"
No, you didn't.
In the middle of these playoffs with the Royals and the Yankees,
and we touched on the Royals. Did you not hear that?
Aren't we headed right toward a Subway Series? Isn't that what's going to happen?
Who called you to talk about Bernie?
Nobody called me, but I just heard from
Who'd you hear from?
Texted people.
Give me an example.
People messaged.
Read one of the texts.
Okay.
Now, I mean, be legitimate with it.
Oh, I sure will.
Because Bernie's a fantastic guest, and we talked about the playoffs.
Bob doing Cardinals talk with a Cards guest in the middle of these beautiful playoffs that the Cards aren't in.
Playoffs?
That the Cards aren't in.
Who texted you that?
I'm give you that person.
Is it someone I know? And they use the word beautiful playoffs?
Yeah.
What kind of a geek is it?
Oh, this guy could absolutely...
I'd fight him tonight.
Kick your ass.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd fight him in the middle of the street.
It would not go well for you.
Who is it?
I don't think you're, you are Facebook friends with him.
Who is it?
I'm not going to tell you.
Throw him under the bus.
I would never, unless he tells me I can, because, again, this guy, I'll show you his picture.
All right.
He could just destroy you.
What a punk. Puffing out his chest.
Ramones guy. I love him.
Do I know him?
No, I don't think so.
And you know what? Whoever you are, texting my son when he's not on the show to criticize me, man up. I'm here.
Well, maybe he'll call. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what his situation is.
Here's what I want people to do.
Maybe he listened on delay or something.
I want him to man up.
Well,
I manned up by talking to Bernie Miklasz. Didn't you think it was a good interview?
I didn't listen to it. I only listened to the top of the hour segments.
Really?
I didn't do the interviews. That wasn't necessary.
You don't like interviews?
I don't need to listen to them when I'm not on the show, do I? Were there good interviews yesterday? How'd Mike Furchess do? How'd Joel T. do? Did he ask questions?
Joel T. was fine. Joel T. did very well. It was a good show. I always run a good show here.
Do you think they need an official score? Is that a thing in hockey?
You don't need to do that. Stay home once in a while.
I will.
You're really missing your daughter, aren't you?
Not necessarily.
You are, aren't you?
Just miss being around people.
What? I can't believe I heard you say that.
I like going to those games.
I thought you liked being out in the boondocks where nobody
I miss being around like people. I like work. I like things like that. Going to a Thunder game.
Don't you work?
Yeah.
Who do you?
I guess I miss the wind surge. Is that
who are you missing?
I miss the wind surge folks.
Give me a name of someone you miss.
Oh, I miss Fred. I love Fred. Fred
couldn't sound more pathetic.
Fred doesn't know how much I love him because I.
Why don't you tell him?
I do, but I also poke at him a lot.
Well, Fred probably doesn't like that.
He doesn't. I don't think. He would never say it, but I don't think he likes.
One of my favorite characters, and I hope Ted Woodward's listening. It's not Ted, although he is one of my favorite characters. But the guy who used to run the scoreboard at Lawrence Stadium back in the day, when the Wranglers were playing, gosh, maybe even there, I think it was the Wranglers, was a guy named Joe Blick. Have you ever heard me talk about Joe Blick?
I've probably heard the name before.
And Joe Blick was one of the most entertaining people, just an old school guy, had a voice that was, you just couldn't get enough of Joe Blick. Every night you went over there, you wanted to see Joe Blick. You wanted to talk to Joe Blick. You wanted to hear what he had to say. And just one of those guys that you meet at the ballpark and you really cherish. Is Fred in that category for you?
Of course. I love Fred. He's one of my favorites.
Well, do you call him?
I don't call him.
Have you talked to him since
we're
the
on the
season
text
ended?
thread with all the other Wind Surge people. He's chimed in.
Have you asked him out on a date? I mean, come on,
I
man.
told him we're going to go to lunch, and I might even bring him on the air sometime. Because how
old is Fred?
He's a baseball historian.
How old is Fred?
I think he's a year or two older than you.
Do you have any? Does he have my knowledge?
Yes, beyond.
Wait a minute. You're kidding, right?
No, I am not. I don't think I am.
You're kidding, right?
But he comes up with stuff that it sounds like somebody just popping off, and every time he says something, it's true. It really happened. He had 39 home runs in 1972. I'm like, what?
You're kidding, right? You're
not.
picking Fred over me.
Fred is a fountain of knowledge.
But you're saying Fred knows more baseball than I do.
It's possible. It's possible.
Well, that's just.
We need to get a competition going between you.
Well, let's do a game.
You and Fred.
Let's do a
someday,
game.
maybe Tuesday.
By the way, I'm scheduled to go to the Mays JV soccer game today.
Today. Are you going to do that?
I just sent Duda a text. He's not going to be able to call in today, he says.
That's upsetting.
He's at regionals. Avery just qualified for state.
That's impressive.
And
That's awesome.
He put 5 exclamation points and 2 smiley faces.
What?
After that. Avery's at regionals and just qualified for state. 5 exclamation points and 2 big smiles.
Wow.
Emojis.
Well, if she already qualified, can he call?
Well, I don't know. They're probably celebrating.
I don't know what they're doing.
She's in the state tennis tournament.
So is he not going to the game tonight?
I don't know. I'll need to clarify, but I texted him and I said, it's hot. I said, dude, it's hot. And
that was your kind of...
I included a couple of exclamation points.
Well, you kind of have to with Duda.
Do you think he took that to mean, Bob's not coming?
Yes. Of course he did.
On the flip side of that, do you think he'll be really disappointed if I don't?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him.
He didn't give me any indication with this. He just said LOL, which he loves to LOL.
He does?
I'm probably not going to be able to call in today for the picks. Avery's at regionals and just qualified for state. 5 exclamation points.
Maybe he doesn't even remember that you're supposed to go to the game today.
But I said, dude, it's hot. That has a clear meaning, doesn't it?
Obviously not to him, because he went right into regionals. Where are regionals? And did she qualify as a single or as a doubles player?
I don't know where he is for regionals.
We kind of need to know some of this.
He might be in Salina, for all I know. But my here's what I want you to answer. My dude, it's hot should be interpreted as, well, Bob's probably not coming.
It should.
But do you think it was?
It doesn't look like it.
How bad would it be if I didn't go?
I mean, pretty bad.
Do you not know how hot it is?
It's not that hot. I mean, it's
85 degrees.
Not super comfortable out there, but it's not like it's brutal.
But it's supposed to be in the 60s at this time of the year. You understand?
Would you go if it was 61?
Oh, absolutely.
You would.
Put on a jacket, I'd go. I'd be so enthusiastic.
Still trying to
But I don't know. Here's what we have for you. Ronnie DeGray from Wichita State basketball will join us after the break. We'll talk about the Shockers. They are zeroing in on their opener. And we'll see what Ronnie DeGray, one of the returnees to Shocker basketball, thinks of what he's been able to accomplish so far and what his team might be able to accomplish. At 2:45, Shelby Werman, the head football coach at Cheney. They are unbeaten, coming off a 3A state championship. We'll catch up with Shelby at 2:45. And then picks coming up in hour number 2. Too bad Duda can't call in. He won them. He won the picks last week with a season high for anybody, 35 points.
Impressive.
We'll be back.
By the way, they're in Derby.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show.
Let's get to Ronnie DeGray from Wichita State basketball. Ronnie is a returning player, had a nice season last year. We're all very excited about the beginning of college basketball. It won't be long. Ronnie, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Doing great. So I guess the obvious question to start with is you've been around this team. You know what the returning players are like. You've been around the newcomers now. What's your level of excitement?
Super excited. Can't wait for the season to start. But we have a bunch of great group of guys this year that really like to compete and get after it. So I think it's going to be a really good season for us this year.
How'd you kind of spend your off season? I guess that question becomes more important when, programs change all the time and guys are kind of in and out. What was your off season spent mostly on? And I guess as part of that, since you're one of the guys who have stayed, what do you really appreciate about Wichita State?
So this off season really spent a lot of time working with Coach Quincy AC, on and off the court with just knowledge, from him playing the NBA, him having a long tenure playing professionally, but just, working my game from, consistently shooting outside and just becoming a better ball handler, just to give, guards outlets, when teams pressure. And just, learn from Coach Quincy AC about, how his, mental, change and just his tenaciousness about everything. But for Wichita State, what was the second question? I'm sorry. What was that again?
Just now that you've been there a little while and spent the year playing, what do you like about the program, the school, the city, and everything like that?
Love the program. Just a bunch of coaches that want to see guys improve and take next steps, but a bunch of coaches that they don't just see you as a basketball player. They see you as a person they want to lead to become great young men one day. Obviously we're here to play basketball, but they want to see it succeed in life outside of just basketball. And just how welcoming the Wichita State community is to players like me that returned. And, every time I go out, I see fans. They just tell me how much it means for them for me to stay, which, it's a rarity nowadays in college basketball, the transfer portal and everything. But just, the gratitude that they show me and just how much the people care about Wichita basketball and how much people just want us to succeed, and they're willing to do the things to help this program get to the next level.
Ronnie DeGray III with us. Wichita State basketball had a season last year in which he averaged 5.8 points and 3.5 rebounds coming off the bench for Wichita State. We expect your role to increase this season. Tell us about your improvement as a player. You talked a little bit about working with Coach AC and how that's helped you. What are the other areas you feel like you need to improve on? And then my second part of the question, this is a team that did not shoot the ball very well from the three-point line, and you've lost Colby Rogers, who did shoot it well. He's now at Memphis. Do you like the guys that have been brought in to kind of reinforce that perimeter shooting?
Definitely with bring guys in that can help space the floor out. Coach Moses definitely, want us to play at a faster pace compared to last year. So there definitely is going to be more spacing and a lot more consistent shooters this year. So I think it's going to really improve for us. And just, like I said, working on my game, just, being consistent each and every night. I think towards the end of the season, I started, just finding my role from, having to sit out the first half of the season and just getting comfortable with, where I fit with the new guys from last year. But, just like I said, just being consistent, shooting the ball with confidence. But I think in all generosity, I think this team will be able to, space the floor with newcomers like AJ and Corey Washington and Justin Hill. I think they're going to be really great additions to helping us win this year.
So you're one of those guys that's kind of seen as a dirty work guy. You'll go after loose balls. Obviously, rebounding is important to you. How much does a role like that mean to you? Do you ever feel pigeonholed by it? Do you ever want to expand your role, or is that something that you've really become comfortable with?
I mean, sometimes there's things that aren't always statted in winning. But I've never shied away from being able to go do the dirty work or, go guard the best player. I take full pride in that. Of course, you want to improve, other aspects in your game so you can, keep on being versatile. But I don't care too much about the glory, but as long as we're winning and I feel like I'm contributing to that, that's all that really matters to me, honestly.
Ronnie DeGray Sr. spending some time with us here on the show today. We're talking
the third.
The third. Sorry, your apologies to your dad on that one. Shockers open with an exhibition game against Emporia State on the 27th of this month. Open the regular season on the road, interestingly, at Western Kentucky. Home opener November 9th against Montana State. So this is a veteran team. There's a lot of seniors, of which you're one, a lot of fifth-year players as well. But who are maybe some of the one or two of the young guys that you think could figure out how to make an impact on a team that's really loaded with veteran guys?
I believe Zion Pimpkin, the young freshman guard. He's been, learning the ropes from Justin Hill and Bijan Cortez and Xavier Bell. So him just, taking in information and just how hard he plays defensively, he's going to be able to impact, from a role with a lot of older guys. I also think TJ Williams, learning from, me, Corey, Washington, and just, the coaches, he's going to make a big leap this year.
You've been you transferred a couple times from Massachusetts to Missouri and then to Wichita State. How do you feel like that has changed your life experience? What may you have missed out on if you didn't get to see different parts of the country or have those different experiences? Is that something that you reflect on at all?
I reflect on just, the people I was with, and just the opportunities to where basketball can take you and, playing at the highest stages in, college basketball. But I feel like at the end of the day, things always happen for a reason. I don't, regret going to any of those places. I've learned a lot from multiple people, and I'm grateful for everything that happens. But I think just you learn from where you've been and, the new places, and you try and just take on old stuff from the new stuff and kind of combine them together to, just learn and excel.
Ronnie DeGray, the third with us. So we have a guy on the show from time to time, Jason Duda, and he always asks people about restaurants. So you're now kind of a veteran of Wichita. If somebody called you right now and said, "Hey, Ronnie, I want to go eat tonight somewhere. Where should we go?" Where would you go?
It depends what you're in the mood for. But are we talking about sitting down?
What are you in the mood for?
Are we talking about sitting down, or are we just talking about like a...
No, it's where would you go? It doesn't matter what it is. It might be Quick Trip, man.
I like this on the west side. It's called Mr. Taco. It's real authentic tacos, cash only. But when I order, it's like I got to keep on coming back. I love that place.
Is that a food truck or a restaurant or a building?
It's a real small building. You got you can call to order, or you can walk in. They make it in front of you, but it's really good.
That sounds pretty good. Well, we appreciate the opportunity to talk to you and get a little inkling about what Shocker basketball is looking like. I know fans are curious. There's a great mix of returning players and newcomers. It's an intriguing team on paper. We'll get to see you on the floor here very soon. Ronnie, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me.
You bet.
Thanks.
Ronnie DeGray, the third from Wichita State basketball out of Parker, Colorado.
Yes, he is.
It's interesting to think about this team. I mean, we haven't seen any of these guys play, but they come with fairly good pedigrees. They're veteran players. They've had success at the Division I level. And now Paul Mills brings them together, and we'll see what he can do with them.
Yeah, and it feels like he got the guys that he was going after. Not to speak poorly of anyone who's been a Shocker in the past, but it seems like he really scrambled to recruit last year, especially in the transfer portal. This year it was more methodical. He had more time, and it appears that he got the guys he was targeting.
You just hope the guys that are freshmen, like he mentioned, T.J. Williams and what's the other kid's name?
Zion Pipkin.
Zion Pipkin. You hope they have their, they understand that their playing time might not be tremendous this year because there's so many veteran players on this team. And then I worry, me, gosh, are they going to get disgruntled and hit the transfer portal?
I can't speak for Zion Pipkin because I've never been around the kid, but T.J. Williams I don't think is that type of guy. I mean, you never know.
Well, they're going to be thrust into a big role next year because of all the seniors on this team.
And T.J. Williams has a torn meniscus, so we'll see.
Well, hopefully he's back.
When he's able to get
You got
back
A.J.
on the floor.
McGinnis, senior, 5th year. Xavier Bell, senior. Ronnie DeGray, senior. Zane Meeks, grad student, senior. He's done after this year. Justin Hill, senior, 5th year. Quincy Ballard, senior. Matej Boznak, senior.
He might be a junior.
He's a senior.
But he might be a junior.
He might be a senior.
They're trying to reclassify him.
Harlan Beverly, redshirt senior. Bijan Cortez, senior. You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I could have figured it out, but thank you.
I'm telling. This is for the listeners.
Oh, okay.
You're a lost cause. I can still educate the listeners.
Then he'll have a lot of work to do, Paul Mills, next year to once again fill out the roster.
Even you were educated a little bit.
But I think Zion Pipkin and T.J. Williams, when and if healthy, will be able to find opportunities and chances to make an impact. That's what I believe.
Well, the communication I'm having with Duda right now is confusing to me. He's gotten my hint, but I don't know if he's unhappy or not. We'll see.
All right.
Hopefully
He's
we
got to
can
be listening to the show right now, doesn't he?
I don't know if he is or not. He's
on the way
probably
back
at
from
Derby
Derby.
eating at Pizza John's.
He should be if he was smart.
If I'm ever in Derby, and I'm there once in a while, I grew up there.
You did?
Yeah.
Back about when?
You know what? You know when.
Early 50s?
And the best, just fantastic times.
They were.
I never had a bad moment in Derby.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Nobody romanticizes their childhood the way you do.
You're pathetic.
Why?
Why do you drag people down?
What do you mean?
Lift them up, man.
I thought that was a compliment.
Shelby Wehrman joins us, the head football coach at Cheney. Hello, Shelby.
Good evening, or good afternoon, I guess. Boy, day's going fast.
See, you were thinking about tonight being the night.
Tonight, that's right.
You got ahead of yourself a little bit there.
Exactly.
So, Cheney off to a 5-0 start. Now 18 wins in a row for this football program. You've done wonders with it. We've congratulated you. You're coming off a state championship. But the wheels never stop turning. The grind never ends. Tell us about your football team and how you're making inroads every day.
Oh, it's definitely a different team. And so, I think we're still learning where we're going to best fit and be with each other. And you're right. The grind doesn't stop. It doesn't feel any easier this year than last year by any means. And so we're still going. I don't know how good we can be. I don't know how good we are at this point right now. You always wonder about the quality of the teams you've played and how they match up. So we're still trying to get better as we go.
Yeah, you have had a few games that on paper look like they might be challenges, but you've won all of your games pretty easily. Does that reflect more on what you have become as a program? Do you feel like you're more dominant even than you were last year, or is it the alternative that maybe, well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to downplay any teams.
Yeah. No, exactly. Well, last week, case in point here, I think we go up to Hoisington, who last year was in the state final game in 2A. They have a very good team. Now, they've had a few injuries, and we have too, but score ends 47-18. So, that looks like a pretty big spread. But I did not feel like we won the game by that much because going through and reflecting on the game, we didn't make them punt one time. They had 5 turnovers, and then we got 2 kickoffs that bounced our way, and we recovered 2 kickoffs. So as you go and look through, they play a clean game, and I'm kind of wondering, are we neck and neck? Do we come out on top even? It's tough to know because they averaged. Their offensive stats were pretty close to ours, averaging about 5-6 yards a carry, and they had big plays and we had big plays. So it's hard to know without the turnover battles kind of muddying up the end of the game how good your team is.
Shelby Wehrman, our guest, the head football coach at Cheney. So I've been around a bunch of football coaches in my life. I've always been intrigued by coaches, but really especially football coaches. There seem to be 2 kinds of head coaches. You may agree or disagree, but there's the rah-rah motivational guy, and then there's the analytical guy, and I've seen both have tremendous success. You seem like, Shelby, just from talking to you, more on the analytical side. Is that an accurate assessment? And if it is, who takes on that motivational part?
I'd say I'm more the analytical. You might just say our team struggles with the raw stuff. We're not. I don't know if anybody really takes it on. The kids do. I try to give that to the kids, but of course we obviously try to motivate them and do a little rah-rah, but I wouldn't say that that's any part of the program's strong suit here.
Are there those kind of coaches still around? Because in my era, I went to Derby with maybe the epitome of the rah-rah coach, Jim Davey, who was there at the time, and then he built a juggernaut at Wichita Southeast High School. He was all about the rah-rah, and then he had a guy on his staff, his right-hand guy, by the name of Dennis Cavalier, who was completely just a brainiac when it comes to football, and that combination worked very well. Do you still see that? Are there the rah-rah guys still around?
I think it is. For example, we played Wichita East C team on our JV squad Monday night. Hoisington had too many injuries. They couldn't play us. So, they come over, and it's quite the dichotomy between East and Cheney, of course. That's just the student demographic even. But, their whole sideline was loud. And it's kind of like the city mouse and the country mouse. They're all rah-rah over there and coaching up hard, and we're over on our side kind of talking through things and coaching up that way. So it's still there, and I'm sure it just kind of depends where the better fit is with the area, the demographic, and but both places definitely have their place in the game. Football's an intense game, and if you don't feel the intensity or the emotion to go out and play hard, then you're not going to perform as well as you would otherwise. And obviously, if you don't know what you're doing, then you're not going to perform well. But yeah, it's all encompassing, I think.
Yeah, so you had a guy last year, Jack Voth, who whenever you needed a play made, you probably were going to find a way to get the ball in his hands. So how much or how little do you have to change an offense? Obviously, you have your quarterback back, Josh Burdick, so that helps a lot. You have obviously a ton of playmakers. But when you lose a guy like that, is it next man up? Do you try to fill that role with 3 or 4 people? Do you immediately trust maybe one guy with those credentials, or how do you go about kind of filling that hole?
That's a good question, because it definitely did feel like, last year we could kind of pull the Jack Voth card, and he would come through. This year it's been a little bit more difficult to discern who's that guy, and so I think, we've kind of steered a little bit more towards the fill that hole with 3 or 4 guys, and we have several quality kids able to do that, but it's just a matter of, do we have that actual guy, or do we need to just play better team football and let each man have their own opportunities so that, keep the defense off balance that way. So it's we're still kind of trying to figure out where we fit best in that regard.
A couple of moments here left with Shelby Werman, the head football coach at Cheney. So you played 2 legendary games against Andale last season. You came back to win both of them. They are such a strong football program. How much of the spring and summer did you spend thinking about those games, and how much they really put Cheney football on the map, and how much it raised the stakes for football at Cheney, because those were such impressive wins. Heck, if they'd happen at a higher level, we'd be looking at a 30 for 30 on them. Were they in your? Did you give them much thought in the off season?
I a little bit, not a whole lot. Just because kind of always on the on the mindset that if you we had a quote this year in our scouting report that this is part of my motivation approach, but the quote was, even if you're on the right track and you just sit there, you're going to get run over. So it's, referring to train tracks, and the train's coming, and so you better be moving, otherwise the train's going to run over you. And that's kind of the way it is in sports and athletics, in my opinion. If you get comfortable, then you're not going to get better, and you're going to get run over next time. So I'm kind of looking forward to maybe retirement days or something when I have time to sit back and think and reflect and enjoy those. But it's just kind of been a push forward and try to get the kids to where we need to be to compete this year.
So I had a coaching question for you, because you're a high school coach, obviously, and it's only a 4-year excursion, but these kids change a lot between 14 and 18. So how much control do you feel like you have over a player's development in high school? Because it might just click at really any time. So are there keys to speeding up that process, or do you kind of just have to wait for nature to do it in some ways?
Yes, to both of those. I mean, you know, you try to teach the kids the techniques of the game and the tools to play the game well, and then you wait for Mother Nature to kick in and get that testosterone flowing where they put on the muscle and they put on the weight and they get more speed. So, you know, we had a kid last year that hardly played at all his junior year. And as the season went on last year, he just got better and better and better. And state game had his best game of the year. And then, you know, actually have his little brother this year. He's a junior, and it's very similar. I mean, he just getting better as the year goes on, and I think he's just finally starting to hit that maturity level and that developmental level. So that's what's really exciting to see about a lot of the kids, and you get that in high school. You don't typically get that in college with kids just hitting that puberty area and just understanding what they can do physically. So it is exciting for high school kids, but it can also be frustrating for coaches because you could have a really good kid, but man, he just, you know, doesn't have all the skills that some other kid has. And it's kind of tough to see those kids not have more success just based on the athletic development level, but it's fun to see kids develop and get better.
Shelby, we always appreciate your time. Thanks for making it work today. Best of luck. Cheney at home on Friday night against Chaparral. We appreciate your time and thoughts.
Thank you. Nice to be on.
Thanks.
All right, Shelby Werman, head football coach at Cheney. We'll take a break. We've got an hour to go. We'll have picks coming up in hour number 2. We don't know about Duda or Anthony. Anthony's work schedule has kind of changed.
A little bit.
So we hope to hear from both of them in some capacity.
Well, that'd be nice.
There's no reason at all why Jason Duda, whose daughter has now solidified her spot in the Class 4A, 5A, 6A state tournament in tennis, the celebration can be put on hold for a few minutes.
Maybe. I don't know what his mindset will be. Maybe he's in Philadelphia.
Maybe. We'll be back.
In one moment, a gift most humans never receive in a lifetime.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
Starting next week, this is my segment. Bob breaks down the NFL.
Don't!
Jeff Lutz.
Are you kidding me? You're terrible at it.
Warning!
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
You're invited to partake of it.
Oh, gasp. I'm so excited.
Stand by for action.
All right, welcome back. One more hour on a Thursday edition, the Bob and Jeff Show here on KFH Radio. Max Power producing and engineering 869-1240.
I'm going to make
IHOP hotline. What?
I'm going to make my semi-annual plea to Max to change out the intros. We've been hearing those for
we'll
many
see if
years.
Max does it. Max knows we'd like that to happen. Whether he does it or not, I can't control.
It's beyond our control. It really is.
Let's ask him directly. Max, will you do that?
We can't just...
He's avoiding us.
Bring it on him.
Hello.
Remember, he's got to turn...
Yeah, I had to turn stuff on. I did like 50.
What do you think, Max?
I did 53 of those things.
Now do another 53.
I took away took away all those boring.
You know what? Do another 10
intros.
and ease them in.
Do 27 more.
All right, okay. I'll work on
Ease
that.
them in.
All right, I'll work on that.
These are. There you go.
You know, I have promos for you guys that are already into March.
We love the promos. We're talking about those show intros.
The intros. Yeah, okay. I will.
Well, you're a creative guy. You can get 10 of those done while the rest of the show today.
Yeah, don't even listen to us.
Yeah. We do have a giveaway. John Michael Montgomery. He'll be at Temple Live this Friday, tomorrow. We've got tickets to give away. You can text John, John, to the number 20357, a daily winner for a pair of tickets to see John Michael Montgomery at Temple Live Friday.
We got to get in with Temple Live because they have some good shows coming through there.
Well, I need to work on that. I'll get it done.
Having John Michael Montgomery on this show? Are you kidding me?
Well, I didn't know this until
country music superstar.
I'll get with him.
Everybody knows I swear and sold.
I'll get with him. Don't worry about it. Why aren't you getting with him? Huh?
Nothing to lose.
No,
that's not him. What's the song I'm thinking of?
Why aren't you getting with him? We're going to pick 9 games as we always do. And here's where we are right now with picks. Still very early in the process. Jeff is your leader. He's at 22-26. That leads. And so do his 111 confidence points. I'm now second, 19-29, with 101 points. Duda moved up significantly. He's 19-29, 95 points. The big fella Anthony had a terrible week, 1-7, lost 1 point. 17-31 now for the year, 76 points. And Max, who's just been just awful, 16-32 for a total of 59 points.
Not great. By the way, Be My Baby Tonight was this John Michael Montgomery song I was thinking of.
Max used to be decent at this, except for his Chiefs picks, but now it's gone off the rails.
He's basically given up.
So today, our K-State Colorado pick is the bonus pick. K-State favored on the road by 3.5. That's interesting.
It's a little interesting. I fear for K-State and their secondary going against Travis Hunter, and we'll see.
That's a tough one to pick, although not for Duda, who's already turned in his picks.
Well, I wonder if he has nearly the same pick I do, because I'm putting some points on that one this week.
No, you'll go Colorado.
How do you know?
I know you.
What do you know about me?
I just know you.
What did Duda do?
Don't worry about it. I'll tell you when the time comes.
If you want.
But those are the picks. We got baseball about an hour after the show ends today. Cleveland and Detroit, Game 4. Of course, Jeff knee deep into that one. Doesn't want to deal with it.
Imagine if we lose.
Well, then it's over. You'll feel awful. You'll feel awful, but then you'll feel like, ugh.
No, I won't. I can't keep doing this, man. Just give it to me. 1 year. Is that too much to ask?
Why are you making it about you?
Because it is about me.
The whole thing's about you?
Yes, and it's about Jabba Chamberlain also. Did you know?
They'll never win with that kind of thinking.
Did you know the 4 teams Jabba Chamberlain played for in his career are Detroit, Cleveland, Kansas City, and the Yankees?
Well, there you go.
All of them. It's the AL is now the Jabba Cup.
And I'm telling you, we'll look back on this, and I'm not... Man, the Mets are so much fun to watch.
Oh, give it up.
They are, and I can't stand the Mets.
You must like them.
But they're energetic. They've found something, and they're. How'd you give up Francisco Lindor? That guy's he's a darling. I mean, we all love him.
Couldn't afford him. He wasn't going to re-sign with us. He wasn't going to give us the hometown discount like Jose Ramirez did.
Reach into those wallets. And
I don't have enough money to sign Francisco Lindor, believe it or not.
And I
don't know if he would have taken a 5-year, $230 deal.
He seems like a really good guy, really good player.
Anybody can seem like a good guy. We don't.
He does.
We don't know.
You're going to disparage one of your former guys?
He took a nap during the rain delay in Game 7 of the World Series. Maybe I will disparage.
Oh, really? Now we're going to
wake up, Frankie. Sorry, didn't like that.
He didn't know when the game was going to resume. Everybody took a nap.
You're tired? In the most
sleep at any time.
Adrenaline-filled moment of your life, and you're sleeping?
These people can sleep at any time, any place, anywhere.
I don't like it.
And then the Royals tonight, they get another shot at it. They face the Yankees. The Yankees have Garrett Cole going against
Reagan's,
Michael
right?
Wacha.
Oh, yeah.
Reagan's will pitch Game 5 if they get
For some reason, I thought it was Game 5, but it's not, and you're right. It's Game 4.
Garrett Cole was not that good in Game 1. What will he be like tonight? Because the Yankees are right there. Boy, they got to get Judge going. Why are these guys...
Because the Royals aren't going to let him beat them.
Why can't Aaron Judge do something? You know what I mean?
Because he's probably not getting pitched to.
He's getting pitched
very
to.
much.
What do you mean?
Not with pitches that he could really drive.
Of course he is.
Why would they throw him anything?
Have you watched a second of that series?
I've watched some seconds of it.
He's getting pitched to.
It was much easier to watch the Royals in the first round when the Guardians weren't playing. Now I'm so spent from watching my team. Well, you'll play the first game every day, Guardians. So nobody cares about you.
Well, that's too
and
bad.
And then after those games...
And they were talking about that on MLB radio, that they should play... they should stagger these games a little better.
It's a joke.
Kind of do it like the NCAA basketball tournament. If you got 2 games going at once, that's okay. We can switch back and forth.
They will tonight for a little while.
We should start the games at 6 and 9, or Eastern time.
It's a little late. How about just 4 and 7?
Well, that's
5 and 8.
You don't want that.
Tonight we have 5 and 7.
Well, push it back to 8.
I'm not the schedule maker, but why do the Guardians have to play the opener? Why are we so...
You want the honest answer?
Why
or
are
do
we
you want
so
me to
insignificant? I don't like it. That's MLB telling its fans this team doesn't matter as much.
What are they supposed to do?
You shouldn't tell your fans that.
What are they supposed to do when you have the Yankees?
You think the Yankees won't have an audience at 3 p.m.?
What are you supposed to do when you have the Yankees?
I just told you.
And you have the Dodgers, and you have
the Dodgers.
The Mets,
I get
and you
because
have the Phillies, and you have
the Dodgers, Padres. I don't care with them. They play late because they're on the West Coast. But every other game's
You knew the Yankees were going to be in prime time. They have been for as long as baseball's been on television.
Then continue to tell your fans that a couple of your teams don't matter as much.
They're not telling them they don't matter. They're
That's
just
exactly
saying we're going to get ratings
saying.
with this game.
Well, ratings.
I got 9
You know how to get ratings? The NFL, you know what? When it's Panthers, Vikings, they get ratings. Why? Because every team, they tell you, matters.
I got 9 guys in Cleveland who'll watch that game.
You're not even listening.
I'm too busy trying to think of the next
and you know what?
hilarious one-liner.
When a playoff game is Cincinnati and Denver, a lot of people watch that game.
Aaron Judge is 1 for 11. They've walked him 3 times. He's struck out 5 times. An .091 slugging percentage. Hadn't done anything. Juan Soto's been a little better, but not significantly better. The Yankees, as a whole, have been not very good offensively. Outside of Giancarlo Stanton, who really did all his damage in one game. That's where you are with them.
He shows up in the playoffs quite a bit.
They're hitting .211. Write this down. This is interesting to me.
What are we doing?
I'm hard at work.
Are you figuring out that it's harder to hit in the playoffs?
No, I'm going to look at the American League, which I think is inferior, and I've said it.
Is that what you're going to look at?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. And then I'll do the National League. I may have to do some of this at the break.
Why don't you do ERAs if that's what your point is?
I may have to do some of this at the break.
Here's what I'd recommend when you should do it. Never.
Don't do it. Why are you so upset? I don't know why you can't just enjoy the life.
I wish I could.
You're in the playoffs. It doesn't look that good for you, but you're still in the playoffs.
Did you read my Pieces of Me today?
Didn't read it.
Why?
Haven't had a chance, Jeff.
Come on, man.
Where is it?
I sent it. It's on my Facebook. It's on kwch.com. Do I need to just send it to you directly from now on? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, you just need to send it to me.
What are we doing over there?
Well, I'm figuring out something.
Figuring out batting averages over the course of 3 or 4 games. Who cares?
I'm just going to give it to you, and you can do with it what you want. You won't care.
Right.
But I think it's telling.
I will treat it as the insignificant, if not meaningless, small sample that it is.
Okay, here's what you have in the American League so far. You got the Yankees, as I said, hitting .211 with a .693 OPS. So at least they've had some extra base hits.
Sure.
Their .693 OPS isn't anything to write home about, but in the American League, it's they're Goliath. Detroit .216 batting average, .617 OPS. Kansas City .240, but only a .610 OPS. They're not getting any big hits, any power. And the Guardians .183
with a .921 OPS
with a .534 OPS.
Is what it is.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it, my friend.
That's an unbelievable 3-game sample you just gave us there.
Well, it is.
3 games.
It is a sample.
Big deal.
The Mets batted .241 in their series with a .714 OPS. No, better than any team in the American League.
We congratulate them.
The Phillies, who are gone, they batted .186 with a .598. That juggernaut lineup didn't get it done, my friends.
Again, 4 games.
The Padres, who have kind of been all or nothing, they're hitting .246 with a .769 OPS. And the Dodgers, who also have kind of been all or nothing, are batting, stand by, I'm doing this on the fly.
Yeah, do it.
.244 with a .716 OPS. So significantly better offense in the National League.
Or worse pitching. Why do you look at it that way?
I'm just looking at things because I'm a baseball guy. I'm as much a baseball guy as Fred or any other friend.
Fred would put you to absolute shame.
Fred wouldn't even know what to say to me. He'd be so intimidated. Your friend at the Wind Surge, who you think knows baseball.
I know he knows baseball.
He wouldn't even he wouldn't even want to come down those stairs to the basement.
Trust me. You think I'm not skeptical of guys who claim to be baseball guys? Fred's proven it. Fred has taken the mantle.
Up with have you heard anybody talk about 48 pitchers being used in the 4 games yesterday?
No.
Until you got here?
Until I think he can count though. That's something I will.
You got here, but did anybody think to look it up?
Does that reflect more on you coming up with a stat?
I wanted to go back 10 years and find a divisional series day in which 4 games were played and just randomly see how many pitchers were used in those 4 games 10 years ago to compare, because it really helps to have a contrast,
a little frame of reference
when you do these things.
Sure.
But I didn't have time.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Had I been a columnist at the Wichita Eagle, it might be tomorrow's column.
And you might have...
Although I'd be in Kansas City covering the Royals.
Yeah, that wouldn't be an interesting column. What do you say after that?
Listen, I'd put it out there. All right, time for a break. We are going to give ourselves a little breathing room here with picks now that we do 9 games. As
Nobody's
I said,
here.
Jeff in the lead. Well, we got Duda's picks.
All right.
Max has picks. We hope we can reach Anthony. He hasn't gotten back to me. We'll see. Our people need to do better, frankly.
You know who needs to be involved in picks? David Michael.
No, he doesn't.
He's on. What do you mean? He's on the show.
He's not a factor.
Next year we'll put him on picks.
Not a factor. Love David Michael Hahn.
He's a co-host.
You're trying to shoehorn him in here, and I'm sorry.
I think he could provide entertainment value.
We'll be back.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show.
We ready?
All right. Do we have Anthony?
No, he hasn't called.
Well, Anthony, you gotta communicate with me, my friend. That's all.
He could always step aside for David Michael Hahn if you want.
Just let me know, big fella. I gotta have the communication. That's all I ask for in life.
It's not much.
You just talk to me, and I'm your friend forever. Just keep me posted. How many times have I told you that?
0. I think that was.
How about let me know?
7 million.
Get back to me.
7 million.
All right, we start in the college ranks. Utah and Arizona State. Big Big 12 battle. Who would have thought we'd be saying that? But that's our reality in 2024. Both teams with one loss. Arizona State's been a little bit of a surprise. They are 6.5-point underdogs at home. I will start with this one. I'll take the Utes. The Utes for 6. Jeff.
Yeah, we thank FanDuel for helping bring us these picks. America's #1 rated sports book. I've got Utah also. I don't know if I believe in Arizona State. Even though I picked them last week against KU, this is a different animal. I've got Utah for 5.
Jason Duda picks Arizona State for 1. He's feeling pretty cocky right now.
Well, for 1, I don't know if that's cocky.
Well, I mean, he's different.
Pretty cautious.
Max, what are you doing here?
Well, I think Utah won't be able to handle the heat of Arizona, so I'll take Arizona State for 2.
Well, we'll see. Anthony will get his pick later, I presume.
You had them at 4.5, Bob, not 6.5.
I'm going 6.5, so you take your Arizona State.
That's what you wrote. I'm just telling you.
What's the line on the game, Jeff?
You did say 4.5.
Well, it's 6.5.
Oh, it's 4.5.
Well, I'm still taking Utah.
So am I.
So is
Max,
it 4?
You want to change your pick?
No, is it 4.5 or 6.5?
4.5.
Okay.
Because Duda made his pick based on 4.5. We can't change it.
All right.
What about Anthony? He didn't
Texas. Who cares?
Anthony doesn't.
He didn't even notify me. He's not keeping in touch. Texas and Oklahoma playing in Dallas as always.
Did we skip one on purpose?
No, just go with me.
Why don't I write these picks down in order?
With me.
So give them to me in order.
All right. Ole Miss. Now, see, you just, what are you, an idiot? Can you not change it up?
I can, but it makes me feel like you accidentally skipped one, because why would you write them down in an order that you...
Ole Miss and Baton Rouge to play LSU. Mississippi, a 3.5-point favorite. Jeff.
No idea, but I think Ole Miss has a bad loss on their ledger, so I'll take LSU for 1.
LSU for 1. Duda picks Mississippi for 2.
Not a lot of confidence in his college
Max.
picks.
I'll take LSU at home. I think the Tigers can pull it off. I'll take them for 3.
For 3, I've got Mississippi for 1. So
yeah, no one knows.
Nobody feels great about that game. Now Texas, Oklahoma. Texas on the road, not really, but this is a neutral site. 14.5 points they are giving to the Sooners. Duda starts off. He picks Texas.
Really?
Oh, gosh. I wrote these down in the wrong place. You people are driving me nuts. Can I just say that?
You start over, man. Should we go back to the first game?
Duda picks Texas for 4. Max.
Texas is number 1. I like them. I'm going to take all 8 on Texas.
Wow. I have Texas for 5. But this is that kind of game that Oklahoma could... Oklahoma, Texas might be the most hard-to-predict game ever. What do you have, Jeff?
I have Texas for 7. Oklahoma's just not there. They've changed their quarterback. They're trying to figure it out. But what if Brent Venables doesn't last very long there?
Arizona on the road in Utah to play BYU in Provo. BYU a 5.5-point favorite. We start this one with Max.
Had to use my one somewhere, so I'll take BYU for 1. In honor of Danny Ainge and Steve Young.
There you go. I like this. I like BYU. I think they're very difficult at home. I know Arizona has talent, but I like BYU a touchdown or more. I've got them for 7. Jeff?
I am pretty much right there with you. I picked Arizona last week for 8 against Texas Tech. Texas Tech, a bit of a surprise, handled Arizona. So I lose faith now in Arizona. BYU for 8.
Wow. Duda has Arizona for 3.
Why?
He's clueless. Ohio State at Oregon, the biggest game of the weekend. 2 top 10 teams. Ohio State, a 3.5-point favorite in Eugene. I start here. I like Oregon in this one for 3. Jeff?
Last year, this was a Big 12 quarterback matchup between Dylan Gabriel and Will Howard. Now it's a cross-country Big 10 matchup. I got to go with the guy who played in purple, so I'll take Ohio State for 3.
Duda has Ohio State for 5.
Interesting.
And Max, what about you?
Ohio State was held to 7 against Iowa until they collapsed in the second half. I like Ducks at home for 5.
I'm with Max. I don't know if that.
Well, he's not over, so he might hit one.
Maybe he'll do okay this week.
I haven't had a minus week yet.
Well,
that's true.
That's true. Finally, our bonus game of the week involves our very own K-State Wildcats. They are in Boulder on Saturday, a late start. They're facing the Buffaloes, and they are a favorite on the road by 3.5. I can't remember who needs to start this one. I think it's Jeff.
It might be, but I think it's you.
No, I picked Oregon with the first. Go. What do you have here?
Well, I just don't know if K-State's going to be able to go on the road and win against Colorado or really against anybody in the Big 12. So I've got Colorado for 9.
9?
Colorado for 9.
Oh, boy. Why not just 10?
Yeah, why not? I don't know, but if 9 felt right.
If you're going to go 9, why not 10?
9 felt right. I don't want to lose 10 points.
Duda, Colorado for 10. Max?
Duda's on a 10 speak. I don't know. K-State had a bye week. They might be refreshed. I'll take him in the thin air.
Colorado.
I'll take K-State in the thin air for 6 because Tim Fitzgerald, I trust him.
Yeah, I think K-State now is going to play well. I think they got their bad game out of the way against BYU. I think they'll continue to figure it out. I like K-State here for 6. I don't want to. I'm with Max.
Diametrically opposed viewpoints on this game,
right? And that's why the picks are interesting.
The 2 leaders, I assume.
I'm not buying into Colorado.
They have Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter.
Yeah, and then who's their third guy?
Whoever they want it to be.
Bill Fred from the Wind Surge. I think plays left tackle.
He should.
That's not going to work for me.
I hope Fred's not listening. Fred, if you're listening. Text me.
Really? You want him to text you?
Yeah.
What do you want him to say?
Just that he's listening and that he appreciates being mentioned so many times on the show.
Here are NFL games. 3 good ones, 2 really good ones, and one of those is Washington at Baltimore. It's silly they're not in the same division, although they're not in the same conference, so that would make sense. Baltimore at home, a 6.5-point favorite. Duda gets the first pick. He likes Baltimore for 8.
Wow.
Max.
It's like a double home game, Washington and Baltimore. Even though the Ravens can't stop anybody, just hand the ball to Derrick Henry and let him just wear Washington out. I'll take the Ravens for 4.
Tough game. I don't know how much to buy into Washington. There's a chance we should really be buying into them, right?
There's a decent
chance. There's a chance of that.
Sure.
Like they could win the NFC chance. I don't want to get carried away.
Quite there yet, but
well, I mean that there's a chance of that. And Baltimore seems to have righted its ship, although Max is right. Their defense hasn't been great. I like them only because they're at home to win by a touchdown, but I don't share the confidence level of Duda or Max, so I'm going to keep it at 4. Jeff,
I just couldn't quite bring myself to pick Baltimore for whatever reason. I don't know that they'll win this game by a touchdown. You can score on the Ravens, and Jaden Daniels never throws an incompletion. So what does that add up to? I don't know. Washington for 2.
Oh, there you go. Detroit on the road to face the Cowboys, who are coming off a nice win. Detroit seems to have its mojo. They're a 2.5-point favorite in the Jerry Dome. Who picked first? I think it's Max this time.
Yeah, they did. The Cowboys got that last-minute touchdown against Pittsburgh. Maybe they're back. I'll take them for 5 at home since they are at home. And I don't trust Detroit.
Ooh, Max.
With Jared Goff, I just don't trust him.
Max, you blew it. You were doing so well. This one has Detroit written all over it, and I like them for 8. Jeff,
I don't like that you're that confident about Detroit, because I'm pretty confident just because there aren't that many games I feel very confident about. But I'll take Detroit, and I have them for 6.
That's 2 points away from what I'm doing.
I know. That's why it made me feel uneasy that you were that confident. Makes me feel like you don't know something. You're missing some element of that game.
Finally, Buffalo facing the Jets.
What about Duda?
Who have a new interim coach.
What did Duda say?
Take? Duda picked Detroit for 7. Buffalo in New York to face the Jets with a new interim coach. Jets are 2-3. Buffalo stumbling around, not playing great at the moment. They are a 2.5-point favorite on the road. I like them to get it turned around this week, but not for a ton of points. I'll pick Buffalo for 2. Jeff.
Josh Allen is the man. There, I said it, so maybe Max won't this week because he sucked last week. But so did Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to take Buffalo for 4.
Buffalo for 4. Duda likes Buffalo for 6. Duda thinks he's an NFL wizard.
I know, he always saves his big picks for the NFL.
It's a little bit of a joke.
It's unfortunate.
Max?
Well, he does have 97 points, so listen,
but he got most of them this week.
They fired the coach. They demoted the offensive coordinator. Aaron Rodgers is a jerk. I'm going with Buffalo for 7. Ruin the Meadowlands.
And Josh Allen is the man.
I like Josh Allen.
We all like Josh Allen. He better play better. All right, there you have it. We'll await Anthony's picks here down the road. And our picks are brought to you by me.
Always.
Well, they are a little bit, right? I mean,
well, you pick the games.
I like the bonus game.
You narrate.
K-State, Colorado, that's a good bonus game.
I'll be watching it with intent.
I like that Bob and I
depending on what happens
tonight, yes.
What's that, Max?
Bob and I have a couple of games exactly the same. I like that. The Ravens, K-State, see?
There you go.
You can't be feeling good about that, either of you, really, when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I'm in last
you
place.
You don't feel great about it.
It's like the blind leading the blind, really.
We don't care what you think.
Are we going to take a break?
Yeah, in a minute.
Got to use your mic.
So we could have the Tigers-Guardians game 5 on Saturday, and then the Royals-Yankees. We could have that.
Could.
If Cleveland and Kansas City come through today. Tomorrow we have a game 5 for sure in L.A. between the Padres and Dodgers.
That'll be fun.
Which will be one of the highest-rated baseball broadcasts in a long time.
You know what we'll also have tomorrow? The Friday 5 on KWCH and catchitkansas.com.
Is that catching on at all? Does anybody look at it?
I don't know. Not really.
If you're promoting it, what are the metrics?
I don't know who wants to read that, but
what do the metrics say?
I like writing it. Not much.
Well, get it out there. Promote it.
I am.
Why don't we have a TV spot? The Friday 5. Catch it on KWCH. What are we doing?
You know why.
No, I don't know why.
Okay, well, we'll discuss it.
Well, get it on. Let's go. We've made our picks. We've talked Shocker basketball with Ronnie DeGray III. We had a segment with Cheney coach Shelby Werman. You can always go back and listen to our show or segments of our show on the Odyssey app or at kfhradio.com. Max is good about getting that stuff up. And that's a good way to keep in touch with what we're doing here.
Absolutely.
You're starting to grip already, aren't you?
I'm not gripping.
Where are you going to watch the game? You want to stay here and watch it today?
No, I do not.
Well, I mean, I don't know why.
I want to go home and watch the game.
If I'm going
to be miserable, I'm going to be miserable by myself.
We're going to have it on here.
I appreciate that. And you can text me during the game if you want to.
And then, as I've told Jason Duda, and it's unfortunate, but Jason and his family, except for his son, aren't going to be at the soccer game tonight, so I won't be going either. And
not even to support Jackson, huh?
No, not tonight. I would go if Duda was there, obviously. So
would you though?
I'm heartbroken about this. But next Thursday, it looks like I'll be headed out to watch Mays play soccer.
I believe it when I see it.
Well, why do you
to
cast
quote you,
doubt?
There's always a reason.
Why do you cast doubt?
You have given us no other choice but to cast doubt. You've never shown up at one of his games before.
I'm money, man. When I say something, I'm going to follow through.
That's so true.
Well, I'll be there next Thursday.
I believe you. Maybe.
The weather's not great. I don't like hot weather right now.
You just looked it up. It's going to be similar next week.
A little cooler.
Low 80s. Not
little
conducive.
Cooler. What is it right now? 87. I mean, I don't want to. You know what I do? I don't want to stand out in the heat like that.
No, absolutely not. Got my AC fixed, though, so I'll be able to...
When did that happen?
This afternoon.
Well, it's about time.
Finally.
Took forever to get that thing fixed.
It did.
I don't know what you all do, but...
They gave us a 5% discount.
Well, I'd laugh in their face. They gave me a 5 for. I'd say.
You know how much money 5% is? $60.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You paid $1,200 to get an air conditioning fix?
Yeah.
How do you like that math quickly done? Here's
good job.
Here's Max. Hello, Max.
Hello, guys. Jeff, good luck to your Guardians tonight. How you feeling? You a little nervous?
I feel like that was disingenuous, so I refuse to answer.
Do you mean that, Max? Because it didn't necessarily sound like it.
No, I did not mean it at all. No, this is Royals time, baby. We are taking Game 4. We're going to be going back. Big Apple for Game 5.
I'll tell you, the Royals have not looked... The Royals have not looked that good to me in this series because New York is right there for the taking, and the Royals haven't taken it. And listen, I get that we're all impressed with how the Royals have turned things around from one year to the next, but if they don't show a little fight and start hitting the ball a little bit, my goodness, come on.
They've got to hit the ball, which brings me to my next point. Bottom of the 8th inning, Bobby Witt, he's been struggling. He gets a clutch hit, and they don't send him to second. I would have loved to have seen them send him to second to try and get him to steal. Otherwise, you're counting on the Royals to get back-to-back hits to try and score him home for the tying run. That Salvi stepped up, and Witt was able to get from first to third, but what do you know? Next guy pops out, end of the inning. It's just hard. I love the Royals. I love the fight. I love the turnaround, but I'm with you. They got to get the bats going. But last night, the pitching, my goodness, get the ball over the strike zone.
Yeah, they were. How does New York only score 3 runs? Yeah, it's 9 walks isn't going to win the game.
Ball over the plate. 9 walks, too many walks.
Good luck,
no
Max.
Control on the mound. Hey, the Soto Shuffle, tell you what, it looks like old Jeff Lutz back in the day. He probably had himself a little Soto Shuffle at the plate.
I did a little things. I did some things.
Jeff would try to emulate that, no question. And then the pitcher would throw around at his head. And
at 72, and I'd get out of the way.
Anyway.
Great turnout for the League 42 tournament last Friday. Beautiful day, great turnout, great support. Love it. Can't wait for next year.
Thank you, Max. Always appreciate it. It was a good turnout, good golf tournament, and we enjoy it every year out at Sand Creek Station in Newton. All right, so we have a couple baseball games. We've got a very interesting K-State football game. KU with an off week, Kansas City Chiefs with an off week, so we don't have them to talk about, but a pretty decent college football weekend.
It's okay.
Coming up. Well, the games we highlighted are all pretty interesting.
Is okay.
What?
I don't know. Is Utah, Arizona State? Is that?
Of course it is. They're both one-loss.
Are you going to lock in on that one?
That's a very good game. I mean,
it's a fine game, but do you want to watch it?
Sure, I do.
Or do you just want to see the result?
I'll watch some of that game, depending on baseball. Yeah, I mean, if there's no baseball, I'm going to watch more football, right?
I guess that's
unless the Royals and Guardians can get something going tonight. I don't have to worry about Saturday baseball.
Nope.
And I don't know if I feel good about either of them, frankly.
Well, thankfully, the score does not reflect your feelings, nor will the outcome. So we'll set them up, we'll play them, and we'll see what happens.
You are so weak when it comes to this.
What are you talking
You're
about?
Just weak.
What are you talking about?
You don't. You just don't. You don't grasp the moment. You don't. You don't speak with confidence.
It's fate. Whatever happens will happen. It's already out there in existence. Someone has already won this game tonight.
Really?
It's been determined.
It has. You really think that?
Probably. I like to think so. So hopefully it's the Guards.
That may be the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say.
Hopefully the Guards won tonight. In the grand scheme of things.
Congratulations to Avery Duda, who's headed to the 6A state tournament. And we're proud of the kid.
Of course. Do we know if it's singles or doubles yet?
Singles, I think.
Well, let's hope.
I'm not 100% sure, but we're proud of her.
We are. Hope she goes far in the state meet.
It's good that she gained some of the athleticism from Dia.
Come on. He was a professional athlete, for crying out loud.
All right. Maybe he had something to do with it.
Perhaps.
Thanks for listening. We'll be here tomorrow. Joe Auer, Wichita Heights basketball coach, will be one of our guests. Joanna Chadwick, Vite Magazine. We'll see you then.